The airplane that shrank the world launches in 1969, crowns the jet age in 1970, ferries presidents and space shuttles, and, half a century later, takes a bow. This is the rise and fall of the Boeing 747, the jumbo jet that made long-haul travel common, then lost the numbers game to leaner twins. Why did airlines once need 4 engines? And why do a few still fly this giant today? Stay for the tech that made it unstoppable, the economics that undercut it, and one last mission only a 747 can do. Late 1960s, Boeing gambles everything on a wide-body airliner big enough to cut seat costs in half. They build an all-new factory in Everett, the world's largest building by volume, to assemble an all-new kind of jet. The first 747 flies on February 9, 1969. Pan Am enters service January 22, 1970, promising cheaper, longer routes with unprecedented comfort. Airports scramble, longer runways, taller jetways, double the catering, new tugs. Engineers raise the cockpit and create a hump, leaving the nose free to swing open for cargo. Insurance in case supersonic airliners win. The SST fades. The subsonic Queen reigns. 2 aisles, 10 abreast economy. A massive wing feeding high bypass turbofans. Engines that push more air slowly for big efficiency gains. The upper deck hump isn't just a lounge, it's a structural workaround. So the cockpit sits above a full-height front door. Result, a main deck wide enough for 2 aisles and cargo pallets, plus a flip-up nose that can swallow outsized freight. Early versions carried the 366 passengers in 3 classes and flew farther than most rivals. The real breakthrough was scale. More people per flight, fewer crews per seat, and airports redesigned around it. Through the 1970s and 80s, the 747 becomes a national calling card. 200s stretch range. The short-bodied 747 SP connects city pairs thought impossible. Airlines install grand lounges, pianos, and upstairs bars, until economics reclaim the space for seats. The 747 also writes aviation's hardest lessons. Tenerife, 1977. 2 747s collide in fog, 583 lost. Out of tragedy comes standard phraseology and cockpit resource management that spread industry-wide. By the mid-80s, the silhouette means global reach, and the jumbo jet becomes shorthand for international travel itself. In 1989, the 747-400 debuts with a glass cockpit, winglets, lighter materials, and range that stitches the planet together. Hubs bloom. Overnight banks of 747s converge, swap passengers, and launch again. An elegant math problem only a giant could solve. The jet transcends commercial duty. NASA's shuttle carrier aircraft piggybacks orbiters. The U.S. presidential VC-25A, call sign Air Force One, when aboard, turns the hump into a flying West Wing. Through the 1990s, the 400 is the long-haul default, from Heathrow to Narita. Freight operators quietly notice something else. That nose door is a license to move anything. Most freighters load through side doors. Fine for containers, useless for very large items. The 747's raised cockpit allows a hinged nose. Roll in jet engines, oil and gas modules, relief equipment, even long museum pieces, straight onto a reinforced floor. No need to clear the cockpit or kink a payload around a doorway. That single feature, plus tall gear and strong structure, lets operators price missions other jets can't touch. As passenger demand shifted, the 747 already had a second life baked in. Turn seats into pallets, keep the hump, and go where the freight is. Two forces flip the script. First, engine reliability rules expand ETOPS, letting twins cross oceans legally and safely. Second, new big twins, 777, later A350, match 747 ranges with far less fuel and maintenance. Airlines chase cost per seat, per hour, per cycle. A quad loses every line item. The hub-and-spoke model also softens as point-to-point long-haul grows. Boeing answers with the 747-8, new engines, new wing, freighter strong. But passenger demand shifts to twins. Numbers, not nostalgia, decide fleets. The 747 remains magnificent, but magnificence doesn't pay the fuel bill. SOP. Airlines standardize fleets, minimize fuel and maintenance, and add frequency over raw capacity. Behavior, then. Prestige justified lounges, 4 engines, and jumbo flagships. Behavior, now. Data wins. If a 777 or A350 moves nearly as many people for less, it flies. The 747's soft power, iconic silhouette, national pride survives. The purchasing spreadsheet does not salute. 2020 accelerates the inevitable. Borders close, demand vanishes. Fuel-hungry quads become instant liabilities. British Airways, Qantas, and others retire passenger 747s in swift, emotional ceremonies, swapping water salutes for masked ramp crews. Boeing builds the final 747, A8F, for Atlas Air. In January 2023, the program ends at 1,574 airframes. Everett crowds thank a machine that carried generations and careers. It's not a failure, it's a completed chapter. The line stops because the market changed. And because the design lasted so long, it eventually wrote itself out of a job. Look up at night, near a cargo hub, and you'll still hear the hum of GE and Pratt engines under a high-crowned nose. Freighter 747s remain busy, precisely because nothing else combines range, payload, and a nose door like this. A handful of passenger 747-8 intercontinentals, most visibly at Lufthansa, keep flying long-haul, partly for capacity, partly for brand. Spotters track tail numbers like baseball cards. The Queen didn't vanish, she changed jobs. Where outsized loads or dense markets exist, a 747 can still be the right answer. Passenger planners live by seat-mile cost. Cargo planners live by ton-mile and dimensional limits. The 747's main deck is strong, flat, and long. Its nose door removes diagonal limits. Its tail sits high enough for forklift clearance. Big twins converted to freighters lack the nose opening and often need floor mods for heavy items. When a shipment is too bulky for standard freighters or time matters more than ocean freight, a 747-8F can do it in one hop. That keeps utilization high and resale values resilient. No other airliner touched statecraft, spaceflight, and tourism at once. The VC-25s framed summit photos. The shuttle carrier framed childhoods. The 400 framed the 1990s boom in middle-class international travel. Its blueprint, big wing, hump, global logistics, outlived its business case. The cultural footprint is larger than its shadow on the ramp. The 747 rose on ambition, ruled on economics, and stepped aside for the same. One open question: will any jet ever feel as significant? If this story earned your attention, subscribe for more aviation deep dives, and tell us your first 747 memory.